Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Hold one, Andre.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Oh my God!
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold two, on bar.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Dummy.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Hold three, Lamas covered, three-handle family gradunzel.
Mamma mia!
And now, Unchained.media presents the B Plus Podcast with your host, Greg Unchained.
It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
Number 4, armbar.
I will never retire!
I still got 200 more! I got 200 more holes to list!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the B Plus Podcast. I'm your host, Greg Unchained. Today is Saturday. You know what that means. It's time for the view from the WWE Universe. A very special view from the WWE Universe because we are just days away from Hell in a Cell. I am joined, of course, as ever, by the one and only C-Jaii. How are you, C-Jaii?
I'm very good, Greg. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm well. How's the tit?
Mate, it's getting better. Slowly getting better.
Yeah? You going through like the rehab exercises? We could put together a video package for WWE Network. Redesign, rebuild, reclaim.
Yep.
That's how it goes, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Let's do it. Vince, hook me up.
So you're doing rehab. Do you have to do physical rehab? I don't know how these things work.
Yeah, so I've still got to rest it for at least another 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then from there I get
You're
to
on tit rest.
Yep. And then from there I get to start working my arm and shoulder a bit more in my chest. So I'll eventually start learning how to ride again and how to be able to use my hand as much as I used to be able to.
This is the montage. We just see you relearning your ABCs.
A, B, C, J, K, F, 3.
Anyway, big week this week, so we should probably get straight into it. We've got to look at 8 hours of WWE content to look at, and then, of course, the Hell in a Cell we need to preview. So I know last week you didn't have a chance to watch it before we talked. Mae Young Classic. Have you watched it this week?
No, I keep forgetting about it.
You have one job.
Technically not really, but...
One job!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all the listeners out there. I know the Mae Young Classic is something that I need to watch. It is on my list with time and stuff. Just never get around to it.
It was show of the week this week, if you were wondering.
I'd probably say so. Hey, they killed it on the Mae Young Classic last year.
Yeah, it was show of the week, even though it wasn't as good as last week's. Episode 1 was much better. The Meiko Satomura and Killer Kelly main event from last week was still blew everything from this week out of the water. But this week's Mae Young Classic was really good. We got Priscilla Kelly versus Deonna Purrazzo. Kelly ends up tapping out to the Fujiwara armbar. That was a really good match. I really enjoyed that match. Ziaxis versus Big Swole Ariel Monroe. She really impressed me, but Ziaxis ended up winning with a gorgeous top rope Spanish fly. It was perfectly executed. A decent match, not a great match, but it was good. Ziaxis moves on to the second round. Reina Gonzalez. Now, here's one that impressed me a lot. She was in last year's Mae Young Classic, and I didn't really think much of her. She has improved a lot. She had a one-on-one match with Casey Catanzaro, who I'm sure you would have heard of. Casey Catanzaro is like the American Ninja Warrior or something.
Yeah, I've heard of her.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we don't get American TV much. Most TV is American TV, so that's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. But I don't watch much TV, so I don't watch American Ninja Warrior. I have no idea what that's about. But apparently she's an athlete of some kind. The first who did it in America. I don't know. And she's been signed, and she was like the underdog in this. So she's like a pure athlete, really athletic chick, and Reina Gonzalez was just a giant next to her. So I don't know the actual size differential here, but the referee looked tiny next to Reina Gonzalez. And she impressed me. She was like an absolute dominating monster for most of the match. Casey did a decent job. Like, Casey Catanzaro did a decent job garnering sympathy, but not as much as you'd like. It was more just Rayna gathering heat. It was fantastic.
Okay.
She was a complete star, in my opinion. And then Casey Catanzaro ends up winning with the roll-up.
Wait. Did you say the person who was dominating lost with a roll-up?
Yeah. Well, it was classic underdog, rolls her up, catches her off guard kind of thing. It was like a proper full-on like roll-through package, grab the legs sitting on the head, roll-up, you know?
Fair enough.
Yeah, so it was a really good. That was probably the best match, I think, in my opinion. Casey Catanzaro moves on to the second round against our very own Rhea Ripley, so that's going to be good to see. She did do a really cool move that I enjoyed a lot. It was like she was on the apron and she did a handstand on the ropes, like a twisting switch, like, you know, in gymnastics when they're doing the bar and they go up and they stay still and then they switch hands around to change direction.
Yep.
She did that on the top rope.
Oh.
Like slingshotting herself into the ring, did that, stood still like in the handstand, switched direction and came down into a head scissors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she's like incredibly athletic.
That's
It was very impressive. So I'm excited to see her against Rhea Ripley in the second round. And then Ashley Rain, also known in Impact as Madison Rain, also known to listeners of the Impact Zone podcast that we do here on the B Plus podcast as Mama Rain, because she is, of course, a stay-at-home mum who wrestles. She had a match against Mercedes Martinez. It was a good match. Again, nothing on the main event from last week, but it was a good match. Close to match of the night, tied with the Reina Gonzalez-Casey Catanzaro match. And there was one point in the match, if you only have time to watch 10 seconds of the Mae Young Classic, right? Yep. Go to Mae Young Classic episode 2 at 40 minutes and 20 seconds. I wrote down the time mark. That's how insane this move was. At 40 minutes and 20 seconds, Mercedes Martinez just absolutely kills Mama Rain.
I'll have to watch it.
I'm actually concerned because she sort of slowed down a bit the rest of the match, so maybe she actually did get hurt, like knocked through a loop here. But you know when they come off the ropes and they do the whole, I'm going to twist and jump on you with my legs wrapped around your midsection and go down, then lift up, right? That whole thing?
Yeah.
She did that, but Mercedes Martinez caught her and ducked her head and tucked her down into like an inverted package pile driver.
Okay.
So she had to take like a flip bump onto her neck between her legs. Oh, it was brutal, dude. Like, I was like, she's dead. She's dead. She has to be dead. It's one of those things where women's wrestling is really exciting because they're smaller and their bodies can take a bit more bump-wise.
Yeah. Because
there's not as much weight coming down, right? So the same reason cruiserweight wrestling was so exciting in the 90s, you know, women's wrestling, they can do things that men just can't.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
And this was one. Well, I'm sure some men could do this move. I'm sure Kota Ibushi would give it a try. But it was just insane to see her body bend that way and come down. And it made me cringe in in all the right ways. So yeah, Mae Young Classic show of the week, in my opinion.
Okay.
Sorry, listeners, that you've just heard me ramble for 5 minutes because unfortunately, C-Jaii doesn't have any opinions on the Mae Young Classic because he's a misogynist and doesn't watch it.
It's not that I don't watch it. It's the fact that I have the time.
Misogyny.
I'm sorry.
You just hate women.
I do not.
You hate women's wrestling. I'm on to you. All right, moving on. 205 Live was also fairly good this week. It wasn't your standard 205 Live. I'm concerned with 205 Live this last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm wondering who's now got their hands on it.
Yeah, like what's happened? Like someone's taken notice of it and gone, I'm going to take him because we'll talk about Leo Rush soon.
Oh, yeah.
And then they've just sort of thrown the booking. And the thing is, too, nothing that happens on 205 Live at the moment matters. I mean, because we know that Buddy Murphy's winning the title in Melbourne, right? He has to. He has to. Melbourne will implode if he doesn't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they will riot and walk out. We're Australians. We will do it.
So, I mean, it's just one of those things where he's going to win the title. So none of this story with Cedric Alexander and Drew Gulak matters a damn.
Yeah.
Like, we're just waiting for them to hurry up and wrap it up next week so we can move on to Buddy Murphy challenging Cedric Alexander.
Pretty much.
Which is the problem with them announcing matches for Super Showdown before the story calls for it. Like, the story should always come first.
Yeah. I'm right with you. Like, I'm actually kind of annoyed that they announced Buddy and Cedric a couple of weeks ago, because to me it was like, alright, so Cedric's obviously going over Gulak, so why are they now still doing Gulak on screen?
Yeah. Yeah, it takes you out of it.
Yeah.
It really does. And it's like, I don't care about Hell in a Cell this weekend because it doesn't matter who wins AJ Styles and Samoa Joe because there's a rematch. It doesn't matter who wins Charlotte and Becky because there's a rematch.
Yep.
It's really disappointing, but we'll get to those later, I suppose. 205 Live was okay. We had the usual opening video. Then we get Buddy Murphy versus Grand Metalik. This was a slower match than you would expect from these guys. But I guess that's the point. Murphy wanted to slow it down.
Yeah. And then watching Murphy being such a brutalizer in this match, as soon as Metalik tweaked his knee, you just watched Murphy go straight after him. Like, that shows the veteran instinct that Buddy Murphy has.
Yeah, just that slow, methodical heel, which is what he's going to need to be against Cedric Alexander. I think it actually shows great character growth. Like, when you look at it from a booking perspective, it's actually pretty smart because in Buddy's last set of matches against Cedric Alexander, he went toe-to-toe with him in that style that they both do.
Yeah.
The cruiserweight, the fast-paced, the big moves, the high spots. He went toe-to-toe with him in that style, and he came up short. So now it's like he's gone back to the drawing board. He's like, okay, I've got another title shot. I need to work on my game. I need to be slow. I need to be methodical. I need to cut the legs out of these dudes. And yeah, that's what he's done here with Grand Metalik. It was like a really good warm-up match to show us his new strategy, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good point of showing the fact that I can slow you down, I can cut your legs out, and I can make it so that you just don't get momentum.
Yeah, because we got to remember, as athletic as he is the juggernaut. He's bigger than these guys.
That's exactly
right.
He's
used to wrestling as a heavyweight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really, really exciting. He gets on the stick and says he's going to Melbourne. He's going to become the new Cruiserweight champion. And everyone's like, yeah, probably. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now we don't care about the rest of the show.
Pretty much. That was my reaction.
The audience falling asleep. Yeah. So in the back, Cedric Alexander is welcoming Mustafa Ali back because, you know, he was gone for 2 weeks. This is something WWE does that annoys me. You take someone off TV for 2 weeks and then you're like, welcome back. They weren't gone.
Yeah.
Let me miss a person.
Yeah, like,
you know?
Especially with the smaller shows like NXT and 205, have them off for a few weeks like they're doing with Aleister Black and NXT. Have them off for quite a few weeks before you say, welcome back.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's out because he's injured, but and the same goes with Sami Zayn, right? It's like Sami Zayn's been gone a couple of months at this point, and even now, if he came back, I'd be like, he's because they're so overexposed. We see them every week without fail, every single person. It's like, no, it doesn't feel special unless they've been gone for 6 months to a year. Then you get a welcome back.
Then the return is actually welcomed. Yeah.
Yeah, if that like when they did it for Nia Jax the other week, it was just like, oh, she's back. It's like, what? She was there a week ago.
Yeah,
and then she's disappeared for one episode. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Moving on, Mustafa Ali has a match with a jobber.
Yep.
And Hideo Itami comes out to watch, but nothing comes of it. He's just there watching, I guess. And then Mustafa Ali wins. Nice and quick.
Yeah, it was a quick match. That was kind of one of those blink and it's gone moments.
Yeah, it was very quick. Then we got Gulak and Gallagher saying that Maverick is distracted by his work with AOP. I like that they're throwing little jabs at him about it.
Yeah, I do like that. And I also like how he's like, you know what, I could ring AOP if you want. You have an issue with them? I can call them. And Gulak no.
I feel like they should be there if they're aligned with him. I don't buy this whole keeping it separate. I don't understand. He's still playing a babyface on 205 Live, and he's a heel on Raw. It makes no sense.
Well, going into a rumor mill here right now, I've read online in the forums that WWE have looked at changing the general manager for 205. And having a former Cruiserweight champion actually become the manager, and have Dave Maverick move permanently over to Monday Night Raw as the AOP manager. Now, have you heard
why?
I don't know. I think it's just something that I want to do.
Who are they looking at?
They're looking at Matt Hardy.
Oh.
Because Matt can't wrestle at the moment. He's severely injured.
Right.
And I don't know if you've seen it, but he tweeted last week that one of his last live events was the last appearance of the woken Matt Hardy.
Right.
So potentially he could be building back up to be... we all see that he's doing the producer role at the moment. Yeah. However, he could potentially be moving into that role of general manager for 205 Live.
Yeah, so we could get Matt 3.0.
Yeah.
4.0, 5.0. I don't know how many
technically.
He's had.
5.0.
Yeah. Would it be 5.0?
I think it'd be 5 because he's had version 1, version 2, then there was Broken, Woken, and then whatever GM version he has.
I swear he's... What about Mattitude? Mattitude was one.
Wasn't Mattitude part of 2.0?
Was it part of 2.0 when he did like all the Matt facts and stuff?
I think that was 2.0.
Even know, but I could get behind Matt Hardy GM. I mean, Matt Hardy's one of those guys who's really good at doing pretty much anything they ask of him. Yeah. So
just one of those guys.
But Drake Maverick's just so good. He was the best general manager they had. So it frustrates me.
Let's see where it goes. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I suppose. I've noticed that they're getting really into factions, which is interesting. Then we get a Noam Dar selfie promo about...
of talking about Leo Rush and mimicking how he's the 23 piece of gold.
Noam Dar. Yeah, so he talked about, because he's 22, right? Yeah. That's what I had. I'm looking at my notes here. I'm like, Noam Dar selfie promo about being 22. What is that?
He's saying how he's 22 and he's pretty much become one of the greatest things, and Leo Rush had to wait till he was 23. That's pretty much what it is.
Right, because Leo Rush is the 23-year-old. So he's just taking the piss, right?
He
so
really
Noam Dar cuts a selfie promo where he's taking the piss out of Leo Rush. That's the best way to put it.
Yep.
And then Leo Rush responds saying, "Keep my name out your mouth." And then we find out these two are going to have a match next week.
Which makes
I like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was very good. And then the Better 205 Live crew, represented by Gallagher and Gulak, take on Cedric and Tozawa.
Yep.
Tozawa taps out to the Gulak, giving Drew Gulak the momentum he needs moving into his title match next week. Yep. Drake Maverick is watching, says that they'll fight for the title next week. So, we knew it was coming anyway.
Oh, yeah,
now they're going to get it out of the way so we can move on to Buddy Murphy.
Can I just I just want to point this out there. Can we please have Akira Tozawa teach Brie Bella how to do a suicide dive?
Oh man, he does them so well.
He does. And after watching Breeze last week, I'm like, what is going on? But yeah, he's...
You know who does them the best? Though, is Jay Lethal down in Ring of Honor. He does them in sets of 3 only.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a thing he does. It's really cool. Anyway, moving on,
Yep.
NXT. Quickly before we move on to NXT, suicide dives. Should everyone do them?
No.
Like, what the hell? It's become one of those moves. Like, pretty much every week on Raw, there's at least 4 spots where suicide dive, Raw rolls on, and then they go to an ad break.
Yeah.
Suicide dives mean ad break time.
Yeah, pretty much.
It pisses me off.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I don't like it.
I think it's because it's a high action move, which means, okay, you've gone into an ad high action, and you're going to come in slow. If you notice that just about every ad break, it comes back in a headlock or some sort of grapple.
Yeah, rest hold. Yeah, they do it for the live crowd.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like I don't even think I want to go watch a live Raw or SmackDown ever, because half the matches it's put together for TV. It's not put together for a live crowd.
Well, okay, so the way that I actually watch Raw and SmackDown, because I don't have Foxtel, so I have to, of course, jump over to a separate way of watching it. The way that I watch it actually shows them wrestle during the ad breaks.
Okay.
So I actually get a live feed from their cameras. So how it is, it's one of the websites that I use. It's sort of hooked into an American TV, but it's not hooked to American TV, if that makes sense. So I can actually see what happens during the ad breaks on those shows.
That's interesting, and it looks boring.
It's actually not. I've seen some really, really good moves come out of really strange people. Like, for example, one of them that sticks into my mind was a couple of weeks ago. Was it last week? No. It was before the bar went on their break. It was Cesaro actually used the GTS.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, what the heck?
That's weird.
It wasn't so much of a GTS. It was more of a I'm going to throw you over a knee in the face, but it wasn't so much of a GTS way of doing it. But that's how I saw it, and I'm like, okay, that was really cool.
That's interesting. So they actually do stuff in the breaks.
They do.
It's not, but then they just come back in the rest hold to make us think we haven't missed anything.
Yeah.
Okay, it's weird. It's weird to me. I that's the benefit of shows that tape is if they go to an ad break, they can come back right where they were.
Yeah.
It's like the one benefit, because I'm not a fan of taping, obviously, because we get the spoilers and all that sort of stuff. But it's, one of those things, man. Like, the whole hitting everyone, every single person on the roster does not need to have Suicide Dive in their move list.
No.
It frustrates me. Moving on, NXT.
Yes.
Tommaso Ciampa starts the show by arriving and not wanting to answer any questions from the pesky journalists outside the show. Well, what are these journalists? Who are they? That's what I want to know. Like, are they there reporting for Fox Sports and stuff? Like, what
is it? The Elite?
They're all asking these questions. I don't know. It's no one covers NXT, right? Like, are we meant to believe it's Dave Meltzer's people and stuff? Like, I don't.
The one thing about this little backstage segment with him walking in was actually him dragging the title on the ground.
Right?
That
I noticed that.
So much disrespect in that championship. Like, I get it. Okay,
one of those plates must have been running against the
It
gravel.
was. You could hear it.
Yeah.
But my point was, like, you never disrespect a championship like that. No matter if it's the hardcore championship or if it's, I don't know, the light heavyweight championship back in WCW.
Even if you're the heel?
Even if you're the heel, don't do it. Because it's to me, it's one of those ultimate disrespectful acts towards the company. It's like you don't care about being a champion. It's like you don't care about being their main guy.
And Ciampa does. Ciampa touts how great he is for being the champion.
That's exactly right. Weird. So to me, it was just kind of like, okay, you don't care about being the champion. Obviously, that's what it is. To me, he should have just been walking in over his shoulder, being like, yeah, I'm the champion. I don't have to answer your questions because I'm the best in the world and you're just some pathetic person with a microphone.
Yeah, it was weird. Now that you mention it, it was definitely weird. Then we get Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan, which my autocorrect has written Only Lorcan. And I'm like, Only Lorcan? Only Lorcan. I was hoping for someone else. No, we get Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan against Cesar Bononi. What a name, Bononi. And Adrian Jaoud. Burch picks up the win. It was a quick squash match. It was nothing major.
Actually, I want to point something out of this match real quick.
Yes.
The way that they were speaking Portuguese in their match to each other, the jobbers, I can't remember their names. To me, I actually really liked that.
Yeah, it's a good move.
To me, it was like, okay, that's clear communication. You can tell them what you want to do without completely going ahead and telling your opponent, this is what I'm about to beat you with. Like, I don't know. To me, I just like it as a heel move.
No, yeah. It was cool. I don't think it's even a heel move. It's just a smart move. They because their opponents can't hear them. Or they can hear them, but they can't understand them. So it's interesting. Yeah. And then we get a Ciampa promo. So he comes out and he has music now.
Oh, thank you.
Really?
Yes.
I liked the no music.
Nah, see, I like this song that they've picked. It's just perfect.
Well, he tells the crowd that the music is his way of politely telling them to shut the hell up. Yeah. And then he talks about the speculation that he attacked Aleister Black and says that he says what we said, that you attack people so that people know that you attacked them.
Yeah.
You know, same thing Lars Sullivan said. If I attack a person, I attack them so you see, right? Because you want people to know you're a badass so that they don't fuck with you.
That's exactly
that's the point of attacking someone. This whole mystery attack is weird. And so he says that he was planning on attacking him, but someone else got to him first. It was pretty much a repeat of everything Lars Sullivan said. And then he says he wants to know who it is so he can congratulate them. But it doesn't matter anyway, because even if Black made it to TakeOver, he wouldn't have won. And then the title actually thanked Ciampa for putting it back in the main event.
It's almost like the boots.
I love that.
It's almost like the boots again. Oh, gosh.
Well, no, in New Japan Pro Wrestling, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship talks, when Hiromu Takahashi had the belt, he called it Mr. Belt, and when he had to relinquish it because of injury, there was a video where the belt got interviewed about being relinquished.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, talking belts. It's a thing.
Okay. That's new. Well, to me.
This promo was fire, though.
It
I
was.
really liked this promo.
It was Ciampa.
His impression of the fans.
Oh, that was so
Right.
good. I know. It was Ciampa. Oh, gosh.
Moving on, we had Violet Payne and Shayna Baszler. Shayna gets a tap-out win quickly. Lots of jobber matches this week. After the match, she just repeatedly attacks this jobber and locks in the submissions.
Yep.
And it was brutal.
Why did no one
Shayna
make the
Baszler
save?
angry.
Oh, yeah. What
Why did no one
throws
make
me
the
is,
save? Because
why didn't
no one
make
cares
save?
about jobbers.
Yeah,
No one cares
good
about
point.
jobbers.
Good point.
If we ever start a pro wrestling tee store or anything, we need to have a shirt that says "Jobbers Lives Matter."
Yes.
You know, because like these jobbers, they just get thrown out there in matches against people like Lars Sullivan, authors of Pain.
Yeah.
Like jobbers' lives matter.
Yep. That's exactly.
They are the
right.
backbone that wrestling is built on.
Well, if you think about it, you wouldn't have major stars if you didn't have someone to bury.
No, I love the jobber model. I really do. Like when I say it was a quick jobber match, I say that with the utmost respect. Like I love the model of squashing jobbers to get over. I think it works. It's proven to work. And then every now and then you find an absolute star in the jobber. Like look at James Ellsworth. You know?
Yeah, I don't know how that worked, but that worked.
Well, it just proves that any man with two hands has a fighting chance.
Jesus. Yep.
Even if you have no chin. So, but this jobber just got absolutely destroyed and brutalized, and no one came out for the save. And then in the parking lot, Tucker and Otis are talking about not believing Tommaso Ciampa. What did he call him? Tomato Champ?
Yeah, Tomato
Champ.
Champ. Oh, I love these guys. Heavy Machinery is fantastic.
I love Otis so much. Otis Dozovic. That is a man. Just the way he barbecues, the way he lifts weights, everything about him is fantastic.
Everything about him is a man.
But no, yeah. The Tomato Champ. The Tomato Champ, they don't believe the Tomato Champ didn't do it. And then Ciampa comes over and he's like, oh, you talking shit about me? And they're like getting in each other's faces. And Regal comes and sends Ciampa to the office like a principal. Again, I'm getting real principal vibes from William Regal lately. I think it's weird. It's like, okay, so Mr. Regal, we understand that Full Sail University is a school. And so you are on a school campus. But this does not make you a professor.
Can we please have, at the next NXT live event at Full Sail, can we please have a Professor Regal chant?
Professor Regal?
Yep.
Or Vice Assistant Dean Regal?
Wow.
You've got Johnny Wrestling, right? So William Regal can be Professor Wrestling.
Yeah, I like that. Professor Wrestling.
I like it too. Professor Wrestling, Steven Regal, William Regal, Professor Wrestling. I like it. I think it fits him too. Like that would actually be a gimmick that he could do, you know?
Any gimmick. He's like Triple H. Any gimmick that he's given, he could do it. Like Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Like
so
many other people.
But I can see him coming out. Like, in fact, I think he has in the past come out and like applied a wrist lock to a guy and then gotten on the microphone and been like, "This is a wrist lock." You know what I mean?
Probably something.
I know people have done that gimmick before. I've seen people do that gimmick before. I don't remember who, but oh boy, armbar. No, not like Chris Jericho. That was just reading a list. Still got 200 more. Still got 200 more holds to list. No, I'm talking about like actually like getting on it. I think I saw it at an Australian wrestling show like way back when I was like 12 years old. The Punisher, William Pickford. I'm going way back in the Aussie Graps archives in my mind here. The Punisher, Wayne Pickford, who is actually a Christian minister, if I'm not mistaken. Now, he was like Australia's Ric Flair. He used to come out to the music and have the robe and everything.
Yeah.
But I remember specifically at this one show I went to in, I think it was Dapto, and he locked a headlock on the guy and he got on the microphone and he's like, "This is a headlock. Notice he has no room." And he's like given the crowd a lesson in how to lock on a headlock properly. because he's like, all these young boys don't do the headlocks properly, and this is how you do a headlock takedown. He throws the mic down, he does a takedown.
Wow.
That might be where I saw it. I could see William Regal doing that gimmick, though, is what I'm saying. Professor Wrestling.
So, after Baszler absolutely destroyed this job... Oh, nope. Let's do that again. So then after we had the backstage segment and Professor Regal sending Tommaso Ciampa to his office, which we didn't even see what happened.
Right, yeah, they never followed up on it, but
that was kind of
who cares?
We had the Undisputed Era in a backstage segment, again. Adam Cole's got his arms up on the bar again and he's fiddling with the bars. And they were saying how... I can't remember the entire part of it, but the one thing that sticks in my mind is Kyle O'Reilly being like, I can't go anywhere anymore. I'm too famous to even buy groceries. That line killed me.
How did I miss this?
I
don't have this in my notes.
I don't know. One thing as well, at the end of the Undisputed Era stuff, have you noticed the last couple of weeks, because you've got Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly with the belts, and then you've got just Bobby Fish just standing in the middle with that trophy. Every time they stand there and do
he holds the trophy.
Yeah, but every time he stands there and everyone does the Undisputed Era symbol, he just smiles towards the camera and...
He can't do it.
No, he just smiles towards the camera and pushes the trophy forward as if to say, look at my baby.
Well, in one of them, he was like... He tried to do it and he was like, I can't do it. Because he was holding the trophy. It was very funny. Then we got Lars Sullivan versus Raul Mendoza, which, I mean, we already saw it, kind of, and this was pretty much the exact same. Lars wins easy. And then Pete Dunne gets interviewed about the title versus title match, says he just needs to figure out how to fit 2 belts in his mouth. I love that line.
That line was good.
Yeah, and then Ricochet responds saying he's used to high-pressure situations. This was fairly standard, just match building for next week.
Can we just touch on how good Ricochet looked with that suit and belt?
Yeah, he's very good at looking dapper.
Yeah, that was as soon as that came on screen. I was watching NXT when I got home today, and as soon as he came on screen, even my fiance was like, "Oh, that looks really good. That looks really good."
Yeah.
And my fiance is one of those people that are like, it's a suit."
No, well, to be fair, Pete Dunne looks real good when he dresses up too, because he has that real British flair about him. Like, he'll have the blazer and the pants that don't match. You know what I mean? And but it looks real good. Yeah. Some of these guys have insane fashion sense. I don't know how they do it. Then we get something that we should have gotten 2 weeks ago,
3-4 weeks ago, even
a Forgotten Sons video package.
This was so good.
This is all you need.
Yes.
All you needed 2 weeks ago for us to get, because this is the way it should work. It should go video package, squash match against jobbers, competitive match. So they shouldn't have had that stupid match against the Street Profits with TM61 interfering.
No.
Right? Because it was too competitive. You need to have a squash match at least once, maybe twice.
Yeah.
Right? I understand that they do the live circuit and the live crowd are into them and know who they are. But for the people watching at home, man, it's jarring to just throw them out there. Like, you know these guys. Like, yeah, I remember Wesley Blake. And I know that other guy who's not even wrestling from TNA. Like,
see, I didn't even know who that guy was, to be honest. I just knew Wesley Blake.
Yeah, but this video was very helpful. It was good. It was just like, okay, I get it. These guys are the Forgotten Sons.
Yeah.
You know? I guess they're kind of like military veterans that are now bikey kind of looking dudes.
Yeah, which I really like how they're doing that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, this whole package was everything they needed.
Yeah. I'm a bit curious though, like, if the whole thing is we're military veterans and we're the Forgotten Sons of America kind of thing.
Yeah.
How is that a heel gimmick?
I think the way that they're going to do it is the fact that we're forgotten. We're going to make you remember by beating down everyone you love.
Yeah, but there's you fall into that whole line of justifiable rage, right? Yeah. So I don't know. Moving on, we have Dakota Kai arguing with Lacey Evans and Aaliyah, and then Deonna Purrazzo comes to her defense and they set a tag match for next week.
Yeah,
I'm very excited for this tag.
I couldn't
match.
even understand the talking half of that. I was just kind of like, yep, okay, that's the thing. We get a match. Yay.
Yeah, I had no idea what they were saying, but I'm going to assume that Lacey Evans and Aaliyah were trying to give her fashion advice or something.
Like that.
I don't say that in a sexist way either. Aaliyah is very much into her fashion and things.
Yeah.
So if you follow these people on Instagram, all right, you get the story and you know that I'm not just being a jerk. Okay, I'm not saying because they're women. All right, I'm saying that Aaliyah's probably offering unsolicited fashion advice, and Dakota Kai wants to kick her head off because that's what Dakota Kai does. She kicks heads, right?
Yes.
It's fantastic. I should never have said that. I really stepped in it there. But moving on, Kairi Sane is in the office, and then Cassius Ohno comes in and gives his perspective, and Regal's like, I don't need your perspective.
I love that. No, I don't need you. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was expecting Tommaso Ciampa here,
So
but
was I.
it didn't happen. But Cassius Ohno was a nice consolation prize. Yep. He's like, I'm sick of being overlooked, and tells him, when your shiny new toy gets here, let me know, bro.
Yes.
Told you.
Yes.
I told you it's Matt Riddle. He wants Matt Riddle. So it's going to be fun.
Wants Matt Riddle.
Then we
I just want to touch on this real quick.
Go.
Earlier this week as well, Velveteen Dream has also put his name in to fight Matt Riddle.
On Twitter? Yeah. Velveteen... Yeah, because Velveteen Dream went to Evolve this week, and that was kind of the home of Matt Riddle for a while. So, yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Velveteen Dream is probably a great second match because we don't want him to be the gatekeeper anymore.
No.
Cassius Ohno be the gatekeeper. Velveteen Dream's the star maker.
Yes. Good way to put it.
So, I'm very happy. Velveteen Dream is an absolute star. Apparently, he did really well at Evolve too, which I knew he would.
I wish we could see those matches.
But there were people who... It's frustrating. I did a bit about that on the All the Rest because why WWE? It doesn't hurt you to let us watch him on WWN. Like, do you think people are going to unsubscribe from WWE Network where they can see Velveteen Dream weekly so that they can watch 2 matches that he has and 1 match that Adam Cole has? No one's unsubscribing. All you're doing is helping them out. It makes no sense to me, but that's a rant for another day. Bianca Belair takes on Nikki Cross. Really good match. Too short. Didn't get the time it needed. They fight to the outside. They slam on the ramp. It ends in a double count out. We're going to get a street fight, right?
Oh, please. Please.
We're going to get a street fight. This is how you do women's wrestling.
Yeah.
Forget women's. This is how you do wrestling. This is how you do wrestling. It was exciting. It was really good. I was like, I want to see them beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah,
and they're beating the hell out of each other. And I can't wait for the spots in the street fight with the hair. I don't know what she's going to do, but she's going to come up with something.
She'll just choke her out or something. Just choke Nikki Cross
whipping her
out.
with it, and then choke her, and I don't know. I'm excited. They get back up. They continue to fight, and then the officials break it up. The crowd are chanting, let them fight. But they don't. They never listen to the crowd when they say let them fight. When Stephanie McMahon says the key to success for WWE has been listening to our fans, bullshit.
Nope. They never do.
Let them fight. Are you saying boomin'? I was saying boomin'. Anyway, with the Roman Reigns reference, let's move on to Raw. We've talked way too long about NXT and 205 Live. I don't know what happened.
Probably because they're the better ones as it is.
Yeah, let's quickly go over Raw and SmackDown for this week. So, top story for me from Raw, Big Show is back. And I cannot tell if he's a face or a heel. We know that Big Show has these problems. Is he a face? Is he a heel? He's leading some kind of fable of children. Which I guess positions him as a face. But I don't know. I mean, you've got a stable of kids here, and they choose their first opponent as cancer? I don't know if that's one you can believably win. We're gonna look at these kids like John Cena. Like, you're shoving them down our throat if you have them overcome cancer in their first feud.
Holy shit, that's so bad.
Am I going to hell?
Probably. Oh, wow. But in all seriousness, though,
it's Connor's cure. They're doing some Connor's cure
that
stuff.
entire segment, though, got me in tears. Like, as someone who's had cancer around me not my entire life, but most of it, it was actually kind of inspiring to see these kids come out on stage with their gimmicks, with their families, and they're like, you know, we're going to beat it.
No, them doing this for these kids is fantastic. It's amazing. And seriously, those kids like that Messiah who's dressed up as like this superhero
cool.
guy and stuff. And I'm like, you are a hero,
That's
kid.
exactly
You're
right.
a hero. Like, absolutely. It's really fantastic stuff. All the stuff they do with Connor's Cure is great.
Yeah.
I'm just glad they didn't play the Connor video, because whenever they play the Connor video, I cry like a goddamn baby.
I think everybody
I can't
does.
help it. Whenever they show that moment where Daniel Bryan goes out to after the WrestleMania win and he says hi to him and so I'm tearing up thinking about talking about it, man. It kills me every time. But no, Big Show's back and he's doing Connor's Cure stuff. It's Connor's Cure, something we can all support.
In all seriousness, ladies and gentlemen, Connor's Cure is one of the biggest things in the world at the moment for helping these children with pediatric cancer. And as someone who would love to donate, I'm calling out to all of those out there who can, and all of those who are willing to help these children. Please donate to Connor's Cure. Jump onto connorscure.com and check out the auctions that WWE have. All proceeds from that auction go towards Connor's Cure. So please, all I ask is take 5 seconds out of your time, check it out, and give these kids a helping hand.
Yeah, I feel like after the terrible, terrible jokes I made, I should probably do the exact same thing. So that's moving on though. Seriously, this week's Raw, I don't know. It felt to me like it was just there. I mean, this was the go-home Raw before Hell in a Cell.
It didn't even feel like a go-home show, to be honest.
No, I mean, they did the big go-home angle at the end with the drop off the table through the stage.
Yeah. I don't know. It just, with Raw opening up with Braun, Ziggler, and McIntyre again, similar to last week.
Yep.
It was... To me,
it's all treading water. It's all the same shit over and over.
That's exactly right. To me, the first thing I thought of was, okay, am I rewatching last week? I actually freaked out and I actually went and looked at the date of the episode I was watching. And I was like, oh, hang on a minute. But
yeah,
they come out. Braun calls Roman a coward as a champion again. And then the Shield arrive, come down, beat down everyone who's around ringside, and then have axe handles out of nowhere.
Yeah,
well done, Dean Ambrose.
Axe handles. It's got axe handles for some reason. I just loved on Twitter, Jimmy Havoc was like, boys, you left one of the most important parts of the weapon at home.
Yes.
That was great.
Yes. But yeah, so Dean came with the equalizer, if you can call it, with the axe handles, beating down everyone. Braun and Ziggler and McIntyre run up the ramp and they're watching from the entrance ramp. And then we go to an ad break. And that's pretty much Raw. In a nutshell, it was ad break. Oh, Shield segment, ad break. Shield segment, ad break. So after that, we have Shield arguing with police again, as always.
Yeah, they're just yelling at the cops for some reason. Like, these are the baby faces, but they're just yelling at police.
Yep.
And then Baron Corbin's like, you need to leave or you'll have to vacate your titles and go to jail.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why? This is so stupid. Like, even in wrestling. Like, wrestling is the home of stupid stuff that we love. I mean, I bring it back to All In, right? We watched a man get carried away by a parade of walking penises. And we loved it.
We did.
But here, for some reason, him just being like, you need to leave or else I'm taking your titles. It just felt, it was so bad. It was bad.
You know what else is bad?
There's no rhyme or reason to it.
No, it's not. But what else is bad is I actually completely forgot that Seth Rollins was Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, it's easy to forget it at the moment. Yep. It really is.
And
like fighting champions, workhorses of WWE, that's the Shield, right? No, it's not. And I guess that's the point, like, we're meant to be like, oh, they're not letting the Shield do what they do best because they're dickhead authority heels. But it's not playing that way. It's just playing like a bunch of idiots acting like idiots. That's the way it's playing out. It's so stupid.
Pretty much.
I don't know. I'm really over the Shield, which I shouldn't be. Like this whole Shield story versus the Dogs of War, I guess they're calling them, the Hounds of Justice versus the Dogs of War. Yes. We are supposed to be getting excited for this because we're going to see it live, and here I am trashing on it, just like it's just.
No,
like,
I can understand what you.
I would much rather see Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens or something like that.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm right with you there. they're supposed to be building this huge 6-man tag. And to me, I'm like, all right, so you're building to this thing that literally no one's going to care about. All of your Raw Men's Championships are in this one feud that no one cares about. This is why NXT is the main show right now.
Yeah, I would agree. Well, the Mae Young Classic has high stakes too, and that's probably the main show.
Main show with
really
a championship.
But the Mae Young Classic has a championship, man. They get that big shiny cup.
Yeah, right, good point.
You get a trophy, right, at the end of it, and
there can only be one winner.
You get to say you won the Mae Young Classic.
Yep, good point.
You know? But anyway, I guess the major story coming out is Mick Foley is going to be the special guest referee for the Hell in a Cell match between Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns because
reasons.
And I say reasons with a question mark because was it even because reasons? He was like, I just don't want to feel like an old man. And it's like, look, here's the thing. If you need to, so the core audience for WWE or the core audience that they play to, they need to be reminded.
Yeah.
If they need to be reminded of why you're a legend, then you should not be trotted out.
No, that's exactly right.
The core audience can still, at this point, remember Undertaker because he's still been around doing things. They can still even remember Shawn Michaels because he retired only, 10 years ago, right? So
only
some of the
10 years.
core audience... Yeah, but some of the core audience will possibly remember Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
But none of the core audience now, that whatever it is, 8 to 20, I guess. Is that where they aim? I don't even know.
Who knows?
But they look at 8-year-olds essentially,
Yeah.
right? None of them know who Mick Foley is, except for videos, on the network. It's really strange to me. If you have to play this hype video package of remember Mick Foley, he got thrown off a Hell in a Cell 20 years ago. If you have to play that video, he's probably a little irrelevant. And it pains me to say that because I love Mick Foley. He's one of the best of all time. But he is an old man, and his place is sitting on the couch and watching from home. That is his place.
I know, and it sounds bad to say. He has been told he can't take bumps anymore. His doctors have physically told him you can't take bumps. So obviously this match is supposed to be just down the middle. I think that's what it's there for. It's all for the fact that he's going to be there. He's promoting his one-man show, and that's all it is.
Right, and that takes place, they're airing it right after Hell in a Cell or whatever, which is cool. I watched the last one as well, and I'll probably watch this one, but you don't need to put him there. The people who are going to watch that are going to watch that. This is the thing that frustrates me with WWE, is they're trying to be everything to everyone, and they're trying to sell everything to everyone, when the truth of the matter is the people who are going to watch the Samoa Joe documentary on the network, the people who are going to watch the Mankind special on the network, they're going to watch it.
No, that's exactly right.
You're not selling anyone on this shit. And him being a referee in a match that does absolutely nothing because he can't take a bump, like you said, he's going to want to probably, and we're all going to cringe, and it's going to be terrible because they're going to try to put heat on Braun Strowman because they need Roman to look like a conquering babyface for Vince's erectile dysfunctions. It's one of those things. It's just not going to work, and I don't give a shit. And it made me care less about this match.
Yeah.
It made me care less.
I
actually care less now. It's weird, man. It's such a weird thing to say Mick Foley being inserted into something is going to make me care less about it. But no, I don't know. It was bad. It was real bad.
Moving on from that as well, we had B Team versus. For some reason in my notes, I have B Team versus Dolph Ziggler. So we have B Team versus Dolph Ziggler. That is in my notes. That's the match now. Drew McIntyre is not existent.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So they lose their rematch for the title, which, whatever. They did do a new spot, though, which was really cool. That B Team, go, go, go. And it was kick, punch, punch, punch. Kick, punch, punch, punch. I liked that a lot. That was really fun. Where was that when you were champions? Because now you're going to be on the pre-show and it doesn't matter.
I don't even think B Team are going to make the pre-show.
Yeah, no, when I say pre-show, I mean main event. I don't mean
good point.
The pre-show of the pay-per-view. I mean the pre-show of Raw, main event. They're not going to, they're going to disappear very quickly. It's disappointing. What else happened? I mean, you got Kevin Owens again. This time Kevin Owens is looking pretty brutal against Tyler Breeze.
Yep.
I liked it. I liked this segment. This was actually one of the things to like about Raw, but it's still frustrating because he shouldn't be there yet.
Yeah.
But you got to give credit where it's due. It's good. They're rebuilding him. You know, he blames Bobby Lashley for everything because Bobby Lashley injured Sami Zayn. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Like the reason
He
they
has a
have
reason.
for him to attack Bobby Lashley. Yeah, it actually makes sense.
Yeah.
They're making it work, and this was good.
That's exactly right.
It was probably actually the highlight of Raw.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah. More than likely.
The glorious suplex machines
Yes.
are teasing already that they're going to break up,
So, see,
which give it some breathing room.
yeah, I like how Gables keep tagging himself in as a way of saying, "Hey, I can do this too." You know, I can do this too. But eventually,
Yeah.
Bobby Roode's gonna have enough and just be like, "Nah, go away." Or this is a long shot. But what if during this tag team, James Storm makes his WWE debut and says, excuse me, but Bobby Roode's got one tag team partner and he's made out of beer and money.
Right. I think that would be way too much of a step backwards for Bobby
I
Roode.
don't know. I think that would bring
Way
but it
too
would bring
much of a step
so
backwards.
much more revitalization to the tag team division to have beer money there.
It would help the tag division. Yes, it would definitely help the tag division. I honestly, you know what? Yeah, I could get behind that. But I was thinking that Chad Gable would turn on. I'm thinking it's going to go the other way.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to play with your beer money idea, and let's have this. Okay, this is me writing Raw for the next however many weeks. We tease the tensions for a little bit longer, and we have Chad Gable turn on Bobby Roode because Bobby Roode doesn't take him seriously as a tag team partner,
Yeah.
right? Bobby Roode doesn't tag him in. Bobby Roode doesn't. He has to keep doing it himself, and he gets sick of it. And so he beats the crap out of, or he cuts a promo on Bobby Roode, and then Bobby Roode gets jumped from behind by Jason Jordan,
Oh, no.
and they beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, all right. I can see that.
They beat the crap out of him, and then the next week they're beating the crap out of him again, and then you get the save from James Storm.
Yep.
Then you've got American Alpha. Then you've got Beer Money Inc. Then you've got a real tag team division starting to take shape because then you've got AOP as well. And then Raw actually has something it can play with.
Yep. I like that. I really do like that.
Yeah.
Outside of that,
It won't
no,
happen.
it won't.
But that's my fantasy book. There we go.
Outside of all of that, speaking of tag team division, Seth and Dee managed to worm themselves into a tag team title match to Hell in a Cell, which we'll get to later on.
Yeah, right. So, you know, let's just put all the gold on the Shield because
That's where they're going.
why
Yeah.
not? It's
lackluster and boring.
I like these three guys. I like all three of them. And the idea of reforming the Shield was, hey, maybe we can make people like Roman. You know what it's going to do? It's going to make people hate Seth and Dean.
Well, isn't their goal to make people hate Dean anyway? Don't they want to turn him heel?
I don't know. That's what everyone assumed when he came back with the new look and everything. But for him to turn heel, he would have had to turn on. It makes... I don't know. I don't know where it's going. I guess that's a good thing,
Sure.
you could say. But other than that, Elias was also a highlight.
Elias is
came
always a
out,
highlight.
Says he's perfected rock and roll. Plays a song, says he's perfected rock and roll. Mick Foley comes out, tells him how amazing he is, but how he's an insincere lyricist. And then we get the Mick Foley Hell in a Cell stuff,
Yep.
which was less of a highlight, but definitely. Oh, and also Stephanie just gave him the right to make a match for some reason.
Yep. Stephanie's giving everybody the right to make matches. I'm just, over that bit now.
Yeah, it was a little bit odd. Rhonda has an injury now, her ribs. They worked over her ribs this week in that match with Rhonda and Natty against Bliss and Mickey.
Yep.
So Fox was at ringside as well. I really liked that as well. That was another thing from Raw to really enjoy. And it means going into the match at Hell in a Cell, there's actually more believability behind the idea that Alexa Bliss could win.
Yeah.
Because she's very good at exploiting weaknesses.
No, that's exactly right. And as much as I like Ronda as a champion, to be honest, I'm like, yeah, cool, Ronda's now champion. I actually liked it. I didn't mind it. I now want Alexa Bliss to win it back, just to be able to say that she can beat Ronda Rousey. Even though the rumors are that Ronda Rousey will face Nikki Bella at Evolution, plugging Evolution for about the 4,000th time this week.
Which, by the way, having that as the main event, if that happens, if that's the main event instead of Becky and Charlotte, like, what the fuck are you doing, WWE? I get that Ronda is a crossover star. I get that Nikki is a crossover star because of the reality TV stuff. But if you want to talk about having a women's evolution, you need to have the best wrestlers in the main event.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it fucking works. You can't put the TV star and the UFC star in the main event. This is a girl that's been here for a cup of water and has had, 2 singles matches? And then you've got a diva.
Yeah, true.
You can't do that. You can't do that. It's shitting all over your audience. But, you know, what do I know?
Yeah. But it's... Yeah, so we won't touch Evolution due to the fact that that's so much later.
Yeah, that's way down the way, and you know we'll get to it when it comes closer. But then we get the go home. Braun Strowman's been looking through Raw. Braun Strowman's been looking throughout the arena for Roman Reigns the entire show, which made no sense because Roman Reigns left, or else he'd have to vacate his title. And Braun knew that. I don't like this new Braun Strowman. This new Braun Strowman is weird. And then Roman Reigns is there because he doesn't care if he has to vacate his title, apparently. And then, because earlier when the other two showed up, they played it off like, no, you said the Shield couldn't be here. The Shield had to leave, or else we'd have to. So only the two of us are here now. But then Roman was there.
That's exactly right.
So now they have to vacate their titles.
Bye-bye Intercontinental Championship. No one cares about the other one.
Good. Let's have a tournament that culminates in a match at Melbourne where someone else.
I thought you were going to say
champion.
Evolution.
Let's have that. Yeah, an Evolution to crown the Intercontinental Champion. Yeah, that makes sense. No. So yeah, and then I guess Roman Reigns Samoan drops Braun Strowman through the stage, and that's the go home angle. And I guess that's that. But let's talk about the real highlight of Monday Night Raw. The real highlight of Monday Night Raw, who I'm sure we will consider the highlight of Monday Night Raw for years to come. The man of the hour.
Yeah.
The 23-year-old piece of gold. Making Bobby Lashley relevant. Lio Rush has become a manager on Monday Night Raw.
Want to know my opinion on this?
Don't tell me you hated it.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Really?
Just
hear me out for a sec. Hear me out for a sec. I hated it at first too. When he first popped up, at first I'm thinking, oh, he's about to get the crap beaten out of him by Bobby Lashley. But then Bobby Lashley was like, my man, and he was like all into it and stuff. He's like, yeah, keep motivating me. And then they've kept it going on Twitter, right? Yep. And I'm like, okay, I can get behind this because I love managers. Managers are a key element to professional wrestling that is missing lately. Yeah. There have not been good managers, especially in WWE. Like, when was Paul Heyman is the exception. But other than Paul Heyman, who was the last? Like, Armando Alejandro Estrada?
Zeb Coulter.
Zeb Coulter, I suppose. Yeah, he was there for a bit. But managers in professional wrestling are fantastic. Fair. Lio Rush is a guy who Vince would never get behind. Ever. It wouldn't happen.
No, it's...
So, having him as a manager works. Having him with Bobby Lashley was someone we didn't care about at all. And now, if Bobby Lashley goes heel and he doesn't have to do any talking, he just stands there looking cocky, and Lio Rush does everything for him. Like, no. You don't talk to Bobby Lashley. You talk to me. I am the man of the hour. I will handle all of his business affairs because I am a 23-year-old piece of gold. And you have all of that going on instead of Bobby Lashley ever talking about his sisters and all that nonsense.
Actually, that's... Yeah, okay. I think you've turned me around.
I'm behind it.
You've turned me around.
I'm behind it.
To me, the first thing I thought was, oh, fuck, they're about to bury him as a manager. I mean, this guy is gold in the ring, gold on the mic. He doesn't need anyone else. But now you've explained it that way, I'm like, all right, I can see that happening. And he can interfere in Bobby's matches to make sure Bobby gets a win because he's good at that. All
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, well, I actually think that Bobby Lashley doesn't need anyone to interfere. I think
that just in case.
He can be a dominant heel. It's more like a Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar situation, but but steeped in a little bit of black culture, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, Leo Rush actually really well exemplifies, without being a racist caricature, without being a trope, without being street profits. Leo Rush.
I was waiting for it.
No, seriously. Street profits look like a cartoon of what someone thinks street culture or black culture is like. Black culture is actually this crazy, beautiful thing. Hip hop culture it's very diverse in itself.
It is.
And Leo Rush is like he actually encapsulates that feeling very well.
Yeah.
The feeling of the swagger, the feeling of, you know, what I am attracted to in hip hop, of I don't need anyone's approval. I'm just going to go out there and be great. I'm just going to go out there and be me. I'm just going to go out there and do this and make this happen for myself. And that swagger and that confidence that comes with that. And he is very unique in that. And his performance in the ring, outside the ring, we've talked about how much we love Leo Rush. And I think this puts a shot in the arm of Bobby Lashley in a way that I never expected to happen. So I'm actually excited about Bobby Lashley.
All right, we'll come at this from two different worlds, and we'll see how this goes. Because
I'm excited.
I'm excited after now that you've explained it. But to me, I'm so worried that they're going to bury Leo Rush on Raw. But it could change.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I'm worried that 205 Live is going to go away. I mean, they're taking Drake Maverick out. Leo Rush is being picked as a manager. I'm worried they're going to do away with 205 Live.
Yeah, they can't really do that. No way. Unless they move SmackDown to 3 hours on Fox and put 205, they put the Cruiserweight Championship on SmackDown again, I can't see it happening.
But I mean, think about it. The Mixed Match Challenge is about to take time away from 205 Live.
True. Maybe that's why they're moving these people up on the board at the moment.
I don't know. To give them something to do. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Moving on, SmackDown starts with a 10-bell salute for 9/11.
Yep.
Really nice they did this. They also did some stuff with Zelina Vega because apparently she lost her father in 9/11. So, you know, it's a hard day for a lot of people. It's also Paul Heyman's birthday. So happy birthday, Paul Heyman. Jeff Hardy comes out, talks about demons and the need to face them head on. And so he's going to make Orton obsolete. He's teasing a little bit there that we're going to see Brother Nero and that tonight he's going to face a demon from his past, Shinsuke Nakamura. You can't really call Shinsuke a demon from his past. He's like a demon from 2 weeks ago.
Well, that's the past.
It's one of those things. But it's not. Time is relative, man. Especially when you're woken.
Yeah. How
can you say he's a demon from your past when it only just happened? I mean, come on. I don't know. I thought it was weird. But the match doesn't end clean anyway because Orton interferes, knocks Jeff Hardy off, but Jeff Hardy ends up getting the upper hand, which means he's going to lose.
Yeah, pretty much. It's how it's been.
I guess the best stuff from SmackDown for me was AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. Both of their promos were really, really good. AJ Styles was like sitting on the steps with an earlier today.
I really liked that. I don't know what it was, but something dragged me to that. Like, I was actually looking away from the screen at that point and I was doing something else. And then when that piece came on and he was in an empty arena and it was just him, I was like, all right, this is really powerful.
He had that intensity and just, I don't know, with his accent too, he's sitting there on the steps and just giving that really focused interview or promo. I thought it was really good, and especially the part where he's like, look, at the end of the day, when the bell rings, no one has the upper hand on AJ Styles. And I was like, he's right.
That's true.
He's right. Samoa Joe, like throughout this whole thing, it's been like, ooh, AJ's in trouble. Samoa Joe set his sights on him. Samoa Joe's a beast. Samoa Joe's a monster. And he is. But at the end of the day, AJ Styles is still AJ motherfucking Styles. And this promo, it wasn't even a match that reminded us of it. It was this promo that reminded us. He's still AJ fucking Styles. Like, he's still
again, he doesn't need to step in the ring. He's like Velveteen Dream. Doesn't need to get in the ring.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, I think the real stars don't. The real stars don't need to get in there and bump like crazy every night. And when I say the real stars, like it sounds bad because I feel like it's taking a shot at someone like Daniel Bryan. There's different ways to do it, right? Because Daniel Bryan, he needs to be in the ring to get over. But AJ Styles, Velveteen Dream does it as well. Elias barely wrestles.
The Miz?
Ever. The Miz? Yeah.
The list goes on.
That's the kind of thing I like. I look at them as superstars because you don't get their time often, and when you get their time, it's more valuable. You know, that's what makes a superstar to me. Like when you look back in the 80s, like Hulk Hogan didn't really wrestle that much.
Yeah, and he was
on every
the poster boy.
Given a promo, let me tell you something, Mean Gene. Take your vitamins, say your prayers. You know, he was there every week, but he didn't have a match every week.
That's exactly right.
And I care so much more about AJ Styles than I do about Roman Reigns. I care so much more about Velveteen Dream than I do about Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
You know? It's
No,
odd.
I can see where you're coming from.
The Joe promo was even better. He was reading a storybook.
Where can I get a copy of that book?
It was Night Night AJ.
I want a copy of that book.
Right? They have to sell it.
They have to.
They have to sell it. The only way they'll sell it is if Joe wins. But no, what a fantastic promo that was, that Night Night AJ, and you know, bedtime story for Wendy.
Yep.
And it was
just
so
so good.
intense. It's so intense. Yeah.
My main question for this feud, my main question is, do these guys have the creative freedom on this feud, or are they getting scripted? I have a feeling this is a creative freedom one that they've been handed.
Like they've just been told, go do your thing because we know you guys have history and we trust
I think
you.
that's what it is. I think creative have been like, don't mention this, don't mention this, don't mention this, but go for everything else.
It's possible. I think it's definitely, it definitely feels, SmackDown feels like that a lot more too, because like New Day get to do some stuff. Like New Day this week, they're on commentary again, the New Day commentary table, and they cut backstage to Kramer Kingston as Kofi in his, you know, old timey disguise. And he's like back there to see the bar in their natural environment. And then he cuts back to New Day on commentary and Kofi's just sitting there. Like, obviously, it was a pre-tape. Yes. But the way they cut it made it look like it was live. And it was very entertaining. I really enjoyed that.
I just like anything new.
It would have been really good if they came back from the video package and cut back to the table and Xavier Woods was looking at Kofi like, what? And like looking up at the screen. Like, how did you... Never mind. Like I think that would have pushed it over the edge for me and just made me like I would have given B+ rating to the entire show if that happened. You know, just give me more cheese.
Yeah.
Like when cheese is done well, it's the best thing in the world.
And speaking of the SmackDown Tag Team Division, I called it. I called it Rusev Day went over. We are getting the New Day versus Rusev Day.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to the predictions soon, but I don't know, man. I know you called it. Well done calling it, but I don't know how it's going to play out. We also had some Charlotte and Becky stuff. So Charlotte beat Sonya Deville. Was there a reason why she had a match with Sonya Deville?
Yeah, because Deville was hard hitting. I think they had like something on Twitter or something, and Deville was hard hitting, and it was a good warm up match because Deville is very hard hitting like Becky, and I don't know, something like that.
Okay, cool. So then Becky was in the crowd, though, dressed as a fan. And she punches her in the face and jumps over and locks her in the disarmor, which was really cool.
Yeah, that was a good way of jumping. Like, I'm not a big fan of jumping them from the crowd because it's overdone, but that worked so well.
Yeah, definitely. And now the baffling thing, let's call this the dummy moment of the week. Asuka. Right? What was with the Asuka interview? Asuka gets interviewed about her return, and Naomi comes up, and Naomi's like, "Yeah, why did you help me?" or whatever. And she's like, "The Iconics are mean, and with their accent, I can never understand them." Right? Which, like, that's funny because she has a really thick accent, so it's kind of like, ha ha, like, you know, you're poking fun. But then, I don't know, what was with the stuff like glow? Like, she said, "Feel the glow." And then Asuka thought she said go. And then for some reason, Asuka starts talking about teriyaki. Like, what? What is going on
was
here?
Just confusing.
And like, I'm okay with Asuka's character evolving, right? I don't like. A lot of people are like, Asuka's supposed to be this badass ass kicker, blah blah blah. I don't care about that. Like, yeah, she was in NXT. That was her character there. Characters evolve. If characters don't evolve, you know what they do? They die. You evolve or you die. Right, and it's good to see her evolving and changing with the times. That's fine. I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about
how they're going to evolve it. Yeah, I like that they're using them to build to Asuka and Naomi versus the Iconics at MCG. I like
You think
Yeah,
that's where it's going?
Guaranteed.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that's pretty much where it's going. And
But they're not going to let the Iconics go over Asuka
they
and
will.
Naomi.
they're
even
in Melbourne. Yes, they will.
That's Asuka.
It doesn't matter who it is.
I don't know, man.
To be honest, they could put Trish Stratus against Peyton Royce in Melbourne, and they would still put Peyton Royce over. It's Melbourne. It's a
I
hometown.
don't think so. No, hometown. Most people lose in their hometown.
Well, I don't know. To me, I just feel like that's how it's going to happen.
Well, we'll see what happens, I suppose. Moving on, we got more R-Truth and Carmella. I love that they're a real team now. Like, Carmella, R-Truth, the magic of R-Truth, not only can he get himself in the main event just through talking, he can turn Carmella face by default. Like, Carmella's a face.
Like, how was that possible?
Yeah, well, her pulling Selena out of the Tranquillo pose was nice.
Yep,
I liked
did
that.
like that.
I popped for that. It's fantastic. I can't wait to see Carmella bust out a face move set and everyone be like, "Oh, Carmella's the best." Will you like? And me be like, "Yeah, that's what I thought." Mella is money. I've been saying it for years.
Mella is money.
I've been saying it since she was in NXT that Mella is money. All right, no one believed me, but she's best friends with Bailey. They used to train together all the time. Like, there's no way she's not going to know a thing or two. She knows how to put together matches. She knows her character work. I love Carmella.
She's really good.
Yeah, and then the main event stuff, Maurice versus Brie Bella. The fact that they're the main event, I don't know, was a little bit... But whatever, that we get the go-home angle with her punching.
That's pretty much it.
So that was the only real point
I will
to
admit,
it.
though, this has been the best build for a mixed tag team match I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's entertaining. It's definitely been the best build for an intergender tag match that I've ever seen. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. A lot of people aren't, but I am. I think the story's been well told. I think it's good the way they're doing all this stuff with Miz and Daniel Bryan. I think we're going to get the blow off, and then they're going to separate after Melbourne. I don't think they'll have another match for a while. So it's pretty cool. I'm a big fan of Smackdown. Are doing a lot better than Raw. A lot better. Like, it's not even in the same ballpark at the moment. They're playing different sports entirely.
Yeah, it's pretty much like... I don't know if you follow sports here in Australia, but it's like... well, no, I can't even think of a way to compare it, to be honest. It's
like Raw are playing AFL and SmackDown are playing NRL, and so SmackDown's the only one that's watchable.
All right, good point. Done. Sorry, no. The Raw is A-League.
Well, now you lose me because I don't really know that much. But yeah, I guess SmackDown's just killing it compared to Raw. And SmackDown isn't even doing that great of a job anymore. It was for a while, but the last few weeks have been a bit less. For me, I don't know where it's gone south, but just something feels different the last few weeks.
Yeah, which I can understand.
I will say this, though. I'm very happy that Vince is super high on Almas and Vega. Did you see the rumors? There's rumors now that he wants Almas to win the Royal Rumble.
You know what? Do it. 100% for it. Do it.
Hell yeah, man! I'm all for that. I'm all about Almas getting a huge push. I'm very keen for that. But let's look at their Hell in a Cell card.
Yes,
shall we? Hell in a Cell is coming up this Monday, so very exciting stuff. Let's take a look through the card. We don't know what's going to be on in what order, so I'm just going to go in the order that they have it here. And here is where I'm looking is Wikipedia.
That's the same page I've got, so let's do it.
Yeah, so Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus The Miz and Maurice. Who you got?
I actually have a count-out. Double count-out, I should say.
A double count-out?
Yep.
No way. No, Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella go over here.
Well, okay, so either it's going to be a double count-out or it's going to go Brie going over Maurice with Daniel Bryan and The Miz brawling elsewhere.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan won't get a win over The Miz, no. But the Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella will win here, I think.
Yeah, I think this is all building to MCG, of course, where we have Miz and Bryan going again for no more contender spot, which I actually have a fantasy booking, which I'll talk to you about at a later date, or even after.
Okay. Yeah, no, when we preview the show, for sure.
But yeah, to me, what I get from this is they're trying to build to MCG. They're trying to build to WrestleMania next year. Don't have Bryan or Miz go over clean until MCG. And then even on that, have that difficult. So I'm calling Brie going over Maurice.
Yeah, Brie over Maurice here. Then we'll have Miz win at the Super Showdown and go on to take the title off AJ Styles, and then we'll get back to it at WrestleMania after Daniel Bryan wins the Rumble.
See, I want it the other way around.
You want Miz to win the No.
No.
You can't do that.
I want Bryan to beat The Miz at MCG. Bryan take the belt from Samoa Joe, and then have The Miz win the Elimination Chamber. Have someone else win Rumble. Have Miz win Elimination Chamber and choose to pick and go against Daniel Bryan, having Miz go over at WrestleMania, creating the future of the WWE.
Interesting. I do like the idea of Daniel Bryan taking the title off Joe, but that means a very short reign for Joe.
Well, not necessarily. He could hold it till the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Or even Elimination Chamber. I don't know, but...
Well, I assume that they're going to go straight after Melbourne at the next pay-per-view. They'll do the match, but we'll see what happens. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. I'm guessing you're picking Joe here then?
I'm picking AJ Styles and Joe to go over at MCG.
Okay, right. So if I was going to have Samoa Joe take the title, I think I would do it here, and then that way you have a reason for the rematch. Otherwise, AJ Styles has beaten Samoa Joe. Why should you have a rematch? So Joe should win it here, but I want AJ Styles to stay the champion. So just for my personal reasons, as much as it would bury Samoa Joe to have him lose here, then lose again in Melbourne, I think he loses. Even though I think the logical thing says Samoa Joe wins the title here, I'm going to pick him to lose. Okay. New Day versus Rusev Day.
I for some reason, I want Rusev Day to win this. I don't know why. I just do.
Right. I think it would be cool. And like I said, I think it may have been the plan. I think Rusev Day may have been planned to topple Bludgeon Brothers, but then the injury got in the way, so they had to pull an emergency book. But I actually would prefer, and I know I'm not a fan of this normally, but just the way the story's been told, I kind of want Aiden English to be abandoned by Rusev. Because Rusev's been toying with this being a face thing. Yeah. And I want him to go back to being a super heel, because I feel like SmackDown needs another good heel.
Yeah, true.
So I think, because I think the show is built on how good the heels are, right? You need good heels for baby faces to overcome. So I want Rusev. I think you could make Aiden English a star if you have Rusev turn on him.
Yeah, you could, easily.
You probably won't, but you could. So I'm going out of left field. Rusev turns on Aiden English.
Okay.
After Aiden English loses them the match again.
Okay, yep. So you're having Aiden English take the pin?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Against probably Big E.
Yeah, more than likely.
So Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman with Mick Foley as the special guest referee because reasons.
Because reasons is this is my toilet break and I am picking Roman Reigns.
Yep, Roman Reigns wins, lol. Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss.
Ronda.
Yep, Ronda retains. Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton in a Who the Hell Cares match.
I'm going Randy for reasons.
Right, this one's in a Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Because
this is...
it is.
Why is this a Hell in a Cell? There's only 2 Hell in a Cell matches. One's Jeff versus Randy Orton, and the other one is Braun versus Roman. This is a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'd rather see Charlotte versus Becky in the cell and AJ Styles and Samoa Joe.
Yeah, why the fuck is Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch not in the cell? Explain that.
I don't know. Well, I guess it's their first real encounter. I don't know. But Charlotte and Becky, who do you got?
Becky for sure.
Yes, Becky. I want
Our
Becky.
Girl needs
right?
our girl needs to take this.
They have to. And again, it gives reason for the rematch. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. And all the gold goes to the Shield.
Needs to happen.
Shield. Workhorse. They're going to have, if they win this though, they're going to have literally every title on Raw.
But that's fine, because it creates them to be, again, dominant. It has the evolution style where they hold every title, and it creates them to be the team to beat. Again, building legitimacy to the 3 champions.
It makes the tag titles an afterthought, though, as well.
Not necessarily, because Seth could start pulling double duty. Or they could introduce a 4th member to the Shield and have them hold the Intercontinental Championship.
if they're going to introduce a fourth member to the Shield, it'll be Ronda Rousey so that the Shield can have all the titles.
Actually, no. To me, I'd go Alexa. I don't know why, but I think Alexa would run that better.
But yeah, so that's our predictions for Hell in a Cell. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we go?
Not really, man. We've pretty much touched everything.
Yeah, we have gone way longer than we normally would, so let's leave it there. Where can people find you,
Guys,
CJ?
you can find me on Facebook, C-Jaii World, and on Instagram at C-Jaii_World.
I am at Greg Unchained on Twitter, at the Greg Unchained on Instagram. We collectively are known as the B Plus Wrestle on Twitter because wrestling wouldn't fit. We are the B Plus Wrestling everywhere else. That is Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, you name it. We're probably there. I don't know. There's a lot of social medias out there, so probably not, actually, to be honest with you. It's pretty much just those ones I listed. We are taking over the world, though. That's the important thing to remember. Taking over the world. Please leave us a 5-star review if you feel so inclined. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for listening.
Hold one! Arm drag! You're not doing this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon. You just made the list! Oh my God!
So, no speak English.
Dummy! Goodbye and good night. Hold two! Arm bar!
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Dummy!